answer a question that was sent to me. The question is, would you please tell me of a way to get the revelation of the self? I am desperate to know. All the methods I've tried were not enough, but I somehow believe that there is another method that can get to my perception or make total sense to me. Self-inquiry or meditation are not enough. Okay, so the revelation of the self is a mixture, I would say, of grace, meaning somehow a gift from beyond, which is basically a peek or a glimpse that is beyond your normal mind. You are habituated to perceive yourself as a person. You've been doing that your entire life. You've been looking at the world with your mind, with your labels, objectifying an external world, and of course, objectifying an internal me, an internal self. And via grace, there is a gift that's given to you. You can look at it as a gift from God that says, okay, here I am, reveals itself, meaning reveals the illusory structures, the illusory space in which you are living, collapses for a moment. And in that moment, you see beyond those veils, beyond the filters of the mind, beyond the filter of identification as a person. Once that gift is given to you, you are on your path. You are on the path. You've been basically blessed. The egg, the shell that you've been living in is cracked, has a crack in it. And a light shines through the crack. The light of truth, of reality, shines through the crack. From that moment on, you can no longer be happy or be content or continue in the habitual bubble in which you existed before. There is a calling that has started for you. So, in your question, that what is the way to the self? First, there is a glimpse into the beyond. Now, the glimpse into the beyond can come in various ways. It can be simply hearing the Dharma, hearing the spoken word, the words that are spoken from that space. And somehow, in some cases, these words resonate. They touch a chord within you. And when that chord is touched within you, it shifts. It causes a change in your psyche. And from then on, I would say that the advice I could give you is to not to put that onto the back burner, not to consider this non-event as just triviality. You have to honor it and recollect it, ponder about it, think about it. It's like you are in a jail and somehow you receive a package, and in the package there is a file. You can't just take that file and just put it under your mattress. You have to figure how you could use it to get out of that jail. You have all what it takes. You're endowed with all that is needed to awaken to your true nature. Because you are the self already. What you truly are is not a person. What you truly are is consciousness. What you truly are is this universal beingness. So you already are endowed with all what it takes. Nothing is lacking. Simply, you have to know what you are really in love with, what you really care for. And of course, habitually we care for, getting things, gathering experiences, relationships, money, traveling, food, whatever. We are usually interested in worldly things, which is fine up to a point. But once you get a peek into the divine, you have to shift your interest. You have to give priority alpha to the understanding of what that experience was. You see, in your question, you say that you've tried a variety of things and they don't seem to be enough. You have to be watchful, because it is the mind that is a beggar. The mind is always saying, well, what's in it for me? Where are the goods? I am willing to practice meditation, but I need to get the results. So the mind is always objectifying the experience of consciousness. It maintains itself as a seeker of an experience. And that's a trickery of the mind. You have to be watchful of that. When these thoughts arise as well, it's not working, you need to sort of not give too much attention to these thoughts, because these thoughts maintain the mind. They're interested in maintaining you as a person, getting better or getting worse. Oh, I'm getting better now. I remain me, the person. You have to be watchful of these types of thoughts. Just follow what resonates for you in the depth of your heart. And there's one thing that you know for sure, is that you are aware in this very moment. Not only you're aware of this perception, not only you're aware of these words, not only you're aware of your thoughts, but you're also awareness itself. Because it is awareness that is aware. Ask yourself, what is this awareness? It has no form, it has no shape, it has no size, it has no beginning, no end. And you know yourself to be that. You have to contemplate that what I am truly is this aware space, this awareness. I know myself to be aware. I don't know myself to be aware because I'm a man or a woman, or because I read about it, or because some guru told me about it. I know I'm aware because that's a fact. It's my actual experience. So contemplate, what is that awareness? That is not a thing. It doesn't matter how you contemplate it, but you have to continue your contemplation. What is it? What does it feel like? What is its nature? What are its qualities? Whatever questions you ask yourself about awareness are good questions. Because they are questions about the self. Notice that awareness is a transparent space. It doesn't have a beginning or an end. It has no direction, no size. Notice that this awareness is non-local. And notice that I am this aware space. That the I refers to this aware space. And notice that within this aware space, which has no form and no shape, all shapes appear, like this perception, or these words, or a bodily sensation. They appear within this space, within I. You do not appear within a sensation, or within a thought, or within a perception. Thoughts, sensations, and perceptions appear within you. You meaning the space of awareness. Sometimes I use the word consciousness, the space of consciousness. I use those two words synonymously. Notice that the body-mind is something that appears to you. The body-mind appears to you in various ways. It appears to you as memory, a thought. It appears to you as sensation, like when you have a toothache, or when you're feeling you're hot or cold, or you're feeling your bodily sensation. It appears to you. You are not what appears. You are the aware space, the presence to which body-mind impressions appear. These body-mind impressions appear and disappear. And they're constantly changing. Thoughts, perceptions, constantly changing. And notice that whatever appears to you doesn't define you. You means as consciousness. If a bird appears, you're not the bird. It doesn't define you. If a thought appears, it doesn't define you. You're not the thought. So there is a freedom. The freedom belongs to consciousness, belongs to I, to awareness. And that freedom is not compromised by any appearance, any phenomenal event. So the freedom that I am, the awareness that I am, is not compromised by whatever appears to me. Nothing defines I. So when you forget the aware presence that you are, you usually identify with some habitual me structure, some me impression. And at that moment, the uncompromised freedom of the self, of consciousness, evades you. And the impression that you have is that you are a limited being, that things are happening to you, and you yearn for that freedom because you know the freedom of the self, because you are the self. So there is a tug of war. There is some kind of internal conflict whenever you forget your wholeness. There is an internal conflict that's calling you back to your wholeness. And it's just a matter of finding the way back. So the way back is to recollect what resonates deeply within you. Follow the light. Like if in a cave you have a little glimmer of light in the cave, your total darkness, follow that glimmer and it will take you beyond the cell that and the unhappiness that you are experiencing. Okay. Okay, if there are any questions. Hello, Ananda.
Hi. It sort of popped up there, half finished.
Okay, yes.
Go ahead with Giovanni.
Okay. Okay, Giovanni, you're right. Magdi, could you talk about the meaning of death of the body-mind? So, you know, Giovanni, let me take the example of the night dream. In your night dream, there are all sorts of mind events, thoughts, perceptions, people appear to you, animals, whatever images appear in your night dream. So many of them. And They appear and they disappear. And when the dream state is over, you wake up and you are yourself. All these mind events have disappeared. What is their meaning? In a way, you could say that there was a birth and death of mind events, your night dreams. And you wake up in the morning, maybe in the night dream, you hurt your arm. You wake up in the morning, your arm is fine. Or in your night dream, I don't know, there was a fire, your house burned. You wake up in the morning, everything is fine, your house is there, everything is okay. So in that case, you could say that the night dreams, the arising and the dissolving of mind events, they refer to your freedom. Their meaning is that you're untouched. Nothing is happening to you. In fact, of all what inspired, of all what has happened in the night dreams, who knows, maybe there was a lion chasing you or whatever happened in your night dream. In fact, nothing has happened to you, nothing has touched you. You are whole and complete. So that's a metaphor. The metaphor of the night dream is a very interesting metaphor. Actually, life is full of metaphors about consciousness, because everything is consciousness. Everything that you perceive, that you experience is consciousness. But let me not go on a tangent. Coming back to your question. Similarly, if you use that metaphor, and you apply it to the death of the body-mind, using that metaphor, is similarly, when the body dies, then that particular mind event dies. The thoughts, the perceptions, and the relationships, all of what I refer to as the mind, meaning all the experiences that you had as a human, all the entirety of your human experiences, which is the mind, dissolve. And their meaning, the meaning of the death of the body-mind, points to, similarly that in the metaphor of the night dream, to I as consciousness that is completely untouched. Now, if you look a little closer at your experience, you will find that your experience of the body-mind is not, in fact, a continuous experience. The body-mind, the way we experience the body-mind, Giovanni, is via perceptions and via bodily sensations and via mentations, thoughts, memories, ideas. That is the conglomeration of our experience of the body-mind. So the body-mind refers to thoughts, perceptions, and sensations. If you go to your experience of the body-mind, that's how we experience the body-mind. This very moment, we're experiencing perceptions, bodily sensations, thoughts, memories. Yes? So that is our experience of the world body-mind. That is the body-mind. But in fact, if you look at closer, you will find that between every thought, because we have many thoughts, let's say we have two thoughts to simplify things. Between thought A and thought B, there is a space. Because if there was no space between thought A and thought B, then there would be one thought. that we would call them thought. We would call those two thoughts. We just call them one thought, which is thought A. But in fact, there are different thoughts that we have. One thought may be, I love walking in the woods, and the other thought may be, I don't like rock climbing. These are two different thoughts. Between those two thoughts, there is a space. There has to be, otherwise there would be one thought. You can apply the same thing to perception. You perceive an oak tree, and then you perceive your dining room. There are two different perceptions. They're not one perception. There are two different perceptions, and because they're two different perceptions, there has to be some kind of space between them. In those spaces, in the space between the thoughts or between the perceptions or the bodily sensations, you don't disappear. That's what I would like you to contemplate. That between thought A and thought B, you remain. The thought is absent. Between thought A and thought B, there is no thought. Or between perception A and perception B, there is no perception. That we agree on. But you don't disappear. Consciousness, awareness does not disappear. So in fact, you could say that the thought A is born and dies, using those words, and then thought B is born and dies. Or mind A, because mind refers to thoughts, perceptions, and sensations. We refer to the entire conglomeration of our human experience as mind. But in fact, there are infinite minds within one mind. Within your very human mind, there are infinite minds. For example, there is the mind of Giovanni in 1998 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on January 8th. There is the mind of Giovanni in year 2012 at 6 p.m. Or in the month of February, whatever. Because it's constantly changing, the experiences, the perceptions, and so on. They're constantly changing. But we oversee that. But the point that I want to make is that in our experience, there is an infinite birth and death of the mind, which is the images on the screen. They are infinite. But you, between every mind event, you are. I as consciousness, I as presence is. So answering your question about the meaning of birth and death of the body-mind, it's only one meaning, which is they refer to the reality, the eternity, and the infinity of consciousness. I want to say one more thing about the impression that we have. We have an impression that we are, during our lifespan, meaning during our human experience, that we are the same, that we're the same person, okay, etc. We have that impression. In fact, the sameness, this unchanging quality that we have in our life about the me, I'm the same person, is a mistake. We actually are the same as consciousness. We're the same. We are uninterrupted consciousness. And the me, the person, is constantly changing. The 5-year-old Magdi and the 40-year-old Magdi, and is different, like day and night. So we actually are not the same person. We are the same consciousness. But the mind confuses that, meaning there is a confusion, which is the game of consciousness. It's all the game of consciousness, because there is really no mind as such. Because before I go there, let's say that the continuity that we experience belongs to consciousness, belongs beyond the mind events, beyond our experiences, our daily experiences of things happening. So just to also talk about this, the game of consciousness. Everything that you experience, which basically would be thoughts, mentations, in other words, mentations, perceptions, and sensations, they belong to consciousness. They're made out of consciousness. Because you're experiencing all the time your experience. You as consciousness is experiencing your own perceptions, you're experiencing yourself as thoughts, as perceptions, as sensations. You're never experiencing something outside of you. When you look at an oak tree in the woods, in fact, you're perceiving your perception within you, within yourself. You never leave yourself and go out to the oak tree and then come back to yourself. Your perception is within you. The oak tree, the knowingness of the oak tree is within you, is known via consciousness, is made out of consciousness. So the entire play of mind and minds is made out of consciousness, like your own dreams. All your night dreams, which is the mind, are made out of yourself, the dreamer. So there is no such thing as a mind, as something that is called as a mind that thinks and operates and so on. It's only consciousness. All is consciousness. Anyways, I think I went way beyond your question, Giovanni. Okay, Ananda, you're right. But the end of experience, that still seems like something lost. Although I love thought-free episodes the best.
So I imagine life being, I imagine death being like a nice thought-free moment, because my existence, my awareness is still, it seems from my investigation, it's not going to disappear, my existence. But but that's not totally clear to me, obviously.
Can you say some more about your existence, so I understand what you are talking about?
Well, yes. I've had some, I'll call them like samadhi type experiences, which made it clear that I'm not body mind primarily. That's not my being. Mm-hmm. And then over time with contemplation, that feels basically known, clear. Awareness versus, opinion and thought about my identity or what's of value, that sort of thing. But the aspect of experience that when the body-mind dies, there's no experience. It's almost like it doesn't matter too much what the experience is. I'm enjoying my being and allowing the experience to be. But the idea of no experience seems to somehow like a loss.
In fact, we love no experience on that, because when we go into deep sleep,
Yeah.
I think we love it. Deep sleep is we, of course, there is the going to bed and the dream state and so on, but at some point, there is no work, body, mind. There is the bliss of the self. Well, I mean, using the metaphor of deep sleep, because the bliss of the self is beyond deep sleep. We all know deep sleep, but we come out of it. The bliss of the self is not something that we come out of. But anyways, the point that I wanted to comment is that we do, in fact, love this no work, body, mind. That's the deep sleep is an attestation of that. I attest to that, and you know that.
Yeah. It's interesting too that people, when they get really wrapped up in their world, body, mind, world situation, they have trouble sometimes sleeping because it's so there that they can't. That you're afraid to even let it go for a moment and go into the sleep, let alone self-realization, whatever we call it.
Yes, it depends to. Well, it can be situational. It depends what is the degree of preoccupation with the me there is. If there is a lot of preoccupation with the me, it can drag on quite a bit into the dream state, and then your deep sleep may be just very brief, and the lesser preoccupation there is with the me, then it's the extent of your deep sleep is longer, and when there is no preoccupation whatsoever with the me, then you're constantly in deep sleep, the wakeful deep sleep.
Yeah, like Romano said that. That's such a beautiful thing. We have the peace, the peacefulness of deep sleep.
Yes.
No matter what. No matter what.
Yes. Now, on the other hand, this concern about, oh my goodness, like, what would I be without experience?
Yes.
That's a tricky. It's a thought, right?
Yes.
It's a thought. It's a thought that arises. Oh my God, what's going to happen to me if I'm not experiencing my friends, my life, whatever. There are thoughts that arises, and then the body mind contracts. Contraction. Oh, my God, what's going to happen? It feels very scary. It's just a mind game. It's really a mind game. That meaning scary thoughts, like when I was a kid, we used to like those stories that had a little scary thing in them, because I don't know why. I can't explain it, but there was something in them that we liked, because we felt like I remember when with my kids we used to play, like we used to go hide under the sheets and be very very quiet, because in case somebody's gonna come. I forgot, it was a long time ago, and we loved it. We just we held each other. It bonded us, maybe, or something. I don't know, but so that what is going to happen to me? Oh my goodness, what is going to happen to me? I have no experiences. It's just a mind game. It's really a mind game. In fact, we know no experience. We experience non-experience all the time. Right now, in this very moment, we are 100% no experience as consciousness. As consciousness, because primarily we are consciousness, which is not something. See, because experiences refer to things, this and that happening, blah blah. What's going to happen with all of this stuff stops? Nothing is going to happen, because I am. You could say that there are two levels to it. One level is the level of consciousness, where I am untouched, unmoved by anything. And then at the other level, there is the mind with all its stories and playing and seeking and hiding and running and avoiding and getting hurt and then hurting somebody else, etc. So this thought, oh my goodness, what is going to happen to me if I don't experience the world? It belongs to the mind. It belongs to the mind. It's like, oh my goodness, what would you do if you won $20 million? How would you spend it? You know,
A lounge chair at the beach.
have you ever, you know, had people sometimes they ask this question. Oh, I wonder, like, what would happen? What would I do if I win $20 million? And then we spend 10 minutes talking about it. Oh, I would do this. Oh, I would do, you know, do that. It's all a mind game. I mean, that's different from oh my God, what would happen to me if I lose $20 million? But it's the same. It's the same.
Well, also, when you have the $20 million, then you get the yacht and you get everything, and then you close your eyes and let go of everything, and that's when you're happy.
Yes, I understand. Yes, of course. But what I'm trying to point is that these sort of thoughts that dramatic thoughts that arise, they seem to, oh my God, they get a lot of attention. In fact, they're really trivialities. If you look at them from a different angle, you just see that there is a factory of thoughts and sensations that it's like kids wanting some excitation. That's about it. It's just their stories and and the way these stories have a juice in them is if you actually believe them. Oh, yeah, what would happen to me? You know, oh, then it's more exciting than if you say, oh, you know. It's more exciting to believe them and to believe that something may happen to you. You say, yes, because you know, what fun would it be to play this game without believing it? It wouldn't be fun. I mean, in that relative sense. In the absolute sense, you can enjoy these sorts of thoughts and laugh at them when they arise and discard them. When you realize that, in fact, you are beyond all of these world, body, mind. You are untouched and untouchable as consciousness. That's when that's when you can celebrate whatever arises and discard what you don't enjoy.
Something you said a couple minutes ago, that we as consciousness, we don't experience.
Yes.
We're aware of experience. Is this even experience is?
Yeah. When I say we, I'm referring. There's really no we. It's always I as consciousness. Yes. So yes, just to yes, consciousness is has no experiences. Like a good metaphor, if you look at in your dream state, in your dream, when you are in your night dream, there are all sorts of things happening. You know, you may be swimming, or there might be 20 people having a party, getting drunk, or dancing, or whatever. But actually, nothing is happening to you, right? The dreamer.
Yes. Yes.
These characters in your night dreams are having experiences. Some people are dancing. Some people are playing, music, whatever. People are doing a variety of things. There may be, animal kingdom. All sorts of experiences are happening in the dream to those dream characters. But for you, none. You are untouched and unmoved and unstirred. You could say that consciousness, like using the dream state, celebrates itself any way it wishes it. There are no limits to it. There are no conditions to it. All the conditions are thoughts. They're like clouds. Oh, you know, I am going to scare the sky, and I'm going to take on the shape of a cloud that looks like a dragon. See, the sky doesn't. You can. The cloud can take any shape. It does not touch the sky. You see. So the entire world, body, mind phenomenal event is, one way of looking at it is that it's the consciousness out of its freedom manifesting itself as that. It manifests itself as that to itself. It's like a beautiful queen looking at itself in the mirror. It loves to look at itself in the mirror, and it wears this hat, and then it changes the hat, and it wears a scarf with beautiful earrings, etc. Yes, you see? It's just enjoying itself. There is nothing at risk. There's nothing at risk. Yes. So you could say that consciousness loves to play. It's complete freedom. And the game that is playing now is the playing of recognizing itself. Recognizing its transparency, its non-physicality, meaning non-limitation, its universality, its wisdom, its freedom, its joy, its happiness, its sweetness.
So it's some amazing thing. It's like a separation from everything and a complete intimacy with everything at the same time. And that's, I don't know.
Yes, you could say that, but in fact the separation is not real, because what is separation? How do you experience separation? How do you know separation?
Yeah, only by I think it's a product of fear based on ideas.
Let's say you're experiencing an idea, and fear, meaning you're experiencing an idea and you're experiencing an emotion.
Yes.
Does that mean there is separation?
No, the dream still belongs to the dreamer.
Absolutely. The thought is intimately yourself, and the emotion or the feeling is intimately yourself. So the question is, what is separation? Because you mentioned separation and intimacy.
Yes.
What is separation? What is that word that you use? What is the meaning? What is its meaning in your experience?
It's it seems to be an endemic part, an integral part of dreaming, or.
But your dreams are not a part of you. If you dream a butterfly,
apparently separate objects. Otherwise, they can't be interacting.
Okay, so you dream a butterfly, yes, and then you dream a lion, right? And then, so the butterfly that you dream is intimately made out of yourself. And then the butterfly dissolves. Now there is a lion, and the lion is intimately made out of yourself. And then the lion dissolves, and now there is a pink elephant. A pink elephant is intimately made out of yourself. So where are the separate objects? Let's say that now you're experiencing a pink elephant, okay? And then you're experiencing the memory of the butterfly that you have experienced 2 minutes ago, yes? Right? And that memory says, a thought says, Oh, the butterfly. Where is it now? Oh, there's a separate butterfly somewhere. In fact, that thought that says there's a separate butterfly somewhere is
Yes.
intimately made out of yourself.
Yes.
And the content of this thought is saying,
Okay.
oh, there is some butterfly somewhere. But in fact, that whole thought is intimately made out of yourself. The thought is made out of yourself. And on what basis does a thought that is made out of yourself, that is saying there is a separate butterfly somewhere, is a proof that in fact there is a separate butterfly somewhere? You see? You follow?
I think you're saying there's only there's only
the wholeness, only the wholeness of being.
So this
What
explains a lot. This really explains another question I had, which is, I woke up this morning and I thought about Standing Rock, you know, the Indians.
Yes.
The pipeline, and
yes.
And then I started thinking about other things, all the, you know, kind of like world in chaos kind of things, too much traffic, whatever. And then I thought, okay, why am I creating a complicated, you know, thing like that? And then I looked at, okay, well, who, the me who's creating, I'm assuming that I'm creating it, like me lying in bed is dreaming it all up or something.
Well, in fact, you are creating all of it. But
I'm also creating the one that's dreaming it. So it's...
Wait, one thing. First, you're creating all of it, and you create, okay, the one that's dreaming it.
Yeah.
But you have to be clear about what is this I that is creating all of this. It is not I, Ananda.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you are, like in your night dream, you, the dreamer, are dreaming a fellow named Joey, and Joey is putting together a play. Yes? Now, Joey is thinking, oh, I have created a play, and I'm going to create a play. I'm creating a play. I'm creating a play. In fact, Joey is not creating a play. You, the creator of Joey, is also the creator of the play that Joey is thinking, that is creating. In fact, Joey is not thinking anything. You are Joey. You are the whole show. You are Joey. You created Joey. You created Joey believing that he's thinking something. You created Joey creating the play.
Right.
So when you say, yes, I am creating the whole show, why am I creating this show? The answer is yes, you are creating it, but not I, Ananda.
Right.
I, consciousness. Because consciousness creates Ananda, creates Magdi, creates Giovanni, creates Holly, creates all of us. Meaning,
so Ananda is the same as Joey.
yes, dream characters. In fact, you could be Joey.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, how do you know you are not Joey? Just the thought that I am Ananda and I am not Joey is not a valid enough evidence it's not enough evidence to say that you are not Joey.
Yeah.
All you can say is that I have this thought, I am perceiving this thought that I am Ananda and not Joey. But that's all you can say. You cannot, in fact, say I am not Joey. You can only say, in fact, I am experiencing a thought that says I am Ananda and not Joey. Right? We have to be sober about our experience and not...
This is really great, because this whole thing, this whole Ananda or I could die, all that, it's all in that realm of I can think of it as imagination.
Yes.
Somebody's imagining it. I mean.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And the point at which the person, like the person, stops and says, "Well, I can't go any further back than this. I'm something." is the point at which the suffering continues, or has a you know, a place to be, something like that.
But what we refer to as a suffering is this experiencing thoughts that basically say, oh my goodness, something may be happening to me. Mm-hmm. There are some things I have to do. And if I don't do them, then I may not get the love that I need, or I may lose this and that. All that may be subliminal. It may be subliminal because the conditioning goes deep.
Right,
and
right.
We don't see where the optic nerve attaches to the we don't see where the ignorance is attached to us, to consciousness. We don't see that.
Right.
And so what we refer to as suffering is these thoughts that carry with them this sense of impending doom, this sense of some urgency or personal vulnerability, that the body out of its malleability, because it's transparent, it's like molecules, it agglomerates.
Yeah, that's a great word.
together, and it we refer to as contraction, like all the bees come and form a beehive. You see, they are like it forms this. So suffering, there is like actually like somebody suffering. It is this like in the dream. Sometimes, you know, it's like very sweet and so on, and sometimes there is a waterfall with all the water starts gushing and rushing, and then millions of gallons are falling every. It's just energies. Yeah, it's just images on the screen. So suffering is when there is this the colors are they're not pastel colors, they're like very dark colors, and there is the impression of vulnerability and personal danger. And the unfortunate thing about this contraction is that in most of our human experience, we are living that. We are living that too much, way too much. It's okay on once in a blue moon you get a little contraction, but if you are living most of your life with oh my God, oh this, oh what's it's pretty sad. Yes.
Yeah.
So that is like a suffering, and the end of suffering. So of course, we talk about the end of suffering is the understanding of what we truly are. You know, that I am not a vulnerable human being. That's a charade. I am presence, beingness, consciousness. That's not is none of the dream characters that it dreams. Yes?
Yeah. Well, great.
Yeah.
I don't like to monopolize, but almost all the things on my mind came out.
Yes. Okay. No. It's good. Anybody's question is everybody's question.
Okay. Thank you.
Giovanni, you're right, but awareness is never without a dream. Oh, it seems to me. No, Giovanni, okay, Giovanni, we need to talk about this. There is no such thing as no dream, no universe. No, not Giovanni.
Giovanni, put your face up. We'll see what you look like.
Awareness is never without dream. No, no, Giovanni, this is a very important point. So please, we need to look at that. Okay. Now, okay, so let me first state that awareness / consciousness, yes, dreams all dreams, meaning awareness, everything that you perceive, that you experience via awareness. Meaning you know perceptions, you know thoughts, you know sensations, you know dreams, you know memories, because of awareness. If there was no awareness of a perception, there would be no perception. If there's no awareness of a thought, of a sensation, what would be a thought or a sensation without awareness of it? So the world, body, mind, what we refer as thoughts, meditations, and sensations, thoughts, meditations, sensations, and perceptions, they are known via awareness. They're known via awareness. And of course, they are made out of awareness. Their substance is awareness, but that's a different question. We can go into it another time. But also, although the world, body, mind is known via awareness, a little note that awareness is not known via a thought or via a perception or via a mentation or via a sensation. It's not known. Awareness knows itself as thoughts, perceptions, and sensations. But coming back to your question, is although awareness knows itself as world, body, mind, it also knows itself in the absence of world, body, mind, in the absence of thoughts, in the absence of dream. It knows itself. And that is a very, very crucial knowingness in the Sahaja Samadhi, to come to you, the Sahaja Samadhi, to the realization of the self. That consciousness is freestanding. It does not stand upon dreams. It does not need dreams in order to be. It is, period. Dreams cannot be without consciousness, but consciousness can be without dreams. Now, think about the following. First, as I mentioned earlier, between thought A is known via consciousness, and thought B is known via consciousness. During thought A, there is consciousness. After thought A, there is consciousness. During thought B, there is consciousness. After thought B, there is consciousness. During thought C, there is consciousness, and so on. Consciousness is before the thought, during the thought, and after the thought. During the thought is consciousness, yes, meaning during the dream, consciousness is. But before the dream and after the dream, also consciousness is. Sometimes I talk about the gap between thought A and thought B, between perception A and perception B, because there are two perceptions. If there are two perceptions, then there has to be a gap between them. And the gap between them is consciousness. And during thought A is consciousness. The gap after thought A is consciousness. During thought B is consciousness. And after thought B is consciousness. Think about that. That consciousness does not cease between thought and another, or a perception and another. Also, Giovanni, think about the following. Consciousness knows itself directly. And the way you can test that is by asking yourself, am I aware? When you ask yourself, am I aware? You don't go to a thought. You don't go to a tree. You don't go to your leg, to a bodily sensation. You go directly to consciousness. Consciousness goes directly to consciousness. Because it is consciousness that is asking the question. It is consciousness that is asking the question, am I? Because a body does not ask a question, a mind does not ask a question. Body is known, a mind is known. Only reality asks the question. Consciousness asks, am I? And where does it ask? It asks itself. It doesn't ask a tree, it doesn't ask a thought, it doesn't ask a sensation. And it knows immediately the answer. Actually, there is zero distance between the question and the answer. Am I? Yes, I am. Am I aware? Yes. Am I aware that I'm aware? Yes, I'm aware that I'm aware. Where do you go? Ask yourself that. Look at that carefully. Where do you go when you ask yourself the question, am I aware? Do you go to your body? Do you go to your memory? Do you go to your thoughts? Do you go to your body? Or do you go to consciousness? And what is it that goes to consciousness? Is it Giovanni? Or is it consciousness itself? You need to contemplate that. Finally, one more thing, Giovanni, is the moment of understanding. At the moment of understanding, consciousness goes. At the moment of understanding, there is no dream, there is no world, body, mind. Like a joke, when somebody tells you a joke, they tell you the story, this person did this and that and so on. And so you're listening to the joke, there is mind, you're listening and you're following the story. And then when the punchline is shared with you, at that moment, because every piece of the puzzle was being put together for the joke. And then when the punchline was finally presented, there is understanding. There is a moment where there are no more mind. You just collapse into the no mind. And there is the joy of understanding. And after that, mind arises again and may say, oh, wow, that was a good joke. I have to remember that one and, put it as part of my repertoire of jokes. Of course, 2 minutes later, you forgot the jokes. But so the moment of understanding is a moment of pure awareness, pure consciousness, without body-mind. So contemplate these. It's very important very important contemplation in your journey. Hello, Randa. So, Randa, you say, is the body-mind a thought and a sensation? Okay, Randa, I don't want to just answer the question, but I want to invite you to look for yourself. How do you experience, what is your experience of the body-mind? And we can do that right now. Right now, how do you experience the body-mind? don't you experience the body, for example, as a sensation? Or a feeling, which is a sensation? The feeling is a sensation with a commentary that says, I am this person. You have to look, it's important for you to look for yourself at your experience. What is the body-mind as I experience it, as Randa experiences it? Because it doesn't matter to take somebody else's answer to your question. It has to be your answer. And so then you look for yourself. The body-mind, how do you know it? How do you know the mind? Don't you know the mind as a thought or thoughts, then a thought, then another thought, then a thought? Even the body, sometimes we know the body as a thought. For example, we may have an image of ourselves, or a beautiful image, and next day ugly image, and next day sad image, whatever. We love images. It's like playing card. You put a different card every 2 minutes, But don't you know the mind as images? The body, excuse me, as images. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you have an image, even image of your mother, of your sister, or if you have sister. You may have images of other bodies. But anyways, coming back to your question, what is my experience of the body-mind? So yes, the body-mind, I'm just sharing with you, but you have to really look for yourself. The body-mind, we know it as bodily sensations, as perceptions. For example, we look at our hand, it's a perception, or we look at our leg. So this is a perception. Then the thought says, oh, that is my leg, that is my body, or the thought maybe, or that is me. So we know the body as thoughts, perceptions, and sensation. Yes. But what's very lovely, Rhonda, is that to look not just at how you perceive or what is the body-mind, but to what does the body-mind appear? Because it is, when you look at your hand, something perceives the hand. What is it that perceives the hand? It is I perceive the hand. The body does not perceive the hand, but I perceive the hand. A thought does not perceive the hand. It's I that perceives the hand. A sensation does not perceive the hand. It is I that perceives the hand. It is I that perceives the sensation. So I, right now, is perceiving this perception. That I is awareness. That I is not a body-mind. It is the I that perceives the body-mind. I am not a body-mind. I am that perceives body-mind, yes? You are that perceives the body-mind, that perceives this perception. That I is not a thing. That I is the reality. The reality of presence, of consciousness, of beingness. Doesn't matter the word. What matters is that you come to that full experience of the I. The full experience of yourself, of your true self. You come to your wholeness, to your indivisibility, to your totality. To your infinity, to your transparency. Beyond the limitations of the belief structures, beyond the limitation of being a woman, being a person. Consciousness has no gender. Reality has no gender, no form, no shape, no limitation. Okay, Rhonda, I hope I answered your question. So, yes, Ananda.
Just one thing, there really is no body-mind, right? I mean, it's like we're talking about the body-mind, this and that, but...
Yeah, it depends how you mean it. Yes, I mean, all is consciousness, all is the self. So body-mind impressions, if you look at the body-mind, what do you find? You find awareness, consciousness, presence, beingness. And then you find the play, meaning consciousness taking on the form of this, the sweetness, the gentle forms, the expressions of the infinite expressions. And what consciousness loves, which means what I love, is the sweetness, the beauty, the honesty, the sincerity, the good faith. Yes, we all know that. Nobody needs to teach us that. We know that is what we love. It's innate within us. Meaning, consciousness knows what it's made out of: love, beauty, sweetness, gentleness, understanding, compassion, listening. Contemplation. So yes, we go from meaning the journey, let's say, is from body-mind structure to the transparency of being. So yes, we are the transparency of being. Body-mind is consciousness. Once you come to that understanding, is consciousness being sweet, the sweet qualities, the love, beauty, intelligence. So yes.
Okay.
Okay, well, it's as usual very beautiful, very lovely to be with you all, and I wish you peace and happiness, and we will see you again in a few days. Okay. Thank you for your lovely company.